Andres, it's good to have you here.
Likewise, likewise. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man, you've been with us a long time. It's been about 3 years, I think.
Yeah, yeah, since 2022.
Nice, right on. Well, if you could tell us your full name, what you do, how long you've been doing it, and what your role is currently, or roles.
Yep. So my name is Andres, and I've been in solar for 12 going on 13 years.
Nice. That is a long time to be in the trenches, that's for sure.
Yes, yes.
And you've been knocking doors for that 13 years.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. Cold calls, doors, everything.
You're a salesman. Nice, man. Right on. Well, one of the things that I've always appreciated about you is that you and are very similar in the fact that we have very high standards. Out of the almost 100 clients that we service right now, I think you have the highest standards, and you've always kept me on my toes for that. And we're very similar. You expect nothing but the best because you provide nothing but the best. So tell me a little bit more about. I know before you started with us, you're a little bit on the fence. Maybe you were wondering whether or not we could deliver at the high standard that you needed.
Yeah, just wasn't sure if it would be, like what the ROI would look like.
Yeah, that makes sense. And about how much time were you spending on non-money making activities? After you'd sell a deal, there's always paperwork, random admin work that you have to
Mhm.
do. What did that look like per week, per month?
About an hour and a half. About an
Hour
hour
and a
and a
half
half per day.
per day. Okay, wow. So you're doing 7.5 hours minimum per week, sometimes 10, sometimes
Minimum.
15.
Minimum.
That is a lot of time that you
Yes,
are pushing paper and not making sales.
absolutely. Absolutely.
And so I know that solar is super complex. Obviously, being the fact that I was a door-to-door rep as well, selling solar for 4 years. Tell everybody who's watching this video a little bit more about what that process looks like and why it's so time-consuming on the back end after you close the deal.
Yeah. So once you close the deal, once you close the deal, you have to do an inspection. If the inspection doesn't happen, you have to reschedule the inspection. After that, you get a final design, sit with the client again, get final numbers. You might have to change things, submit a change order. After that, then you can submit it to the county, and then you would have to get approval from the county and the electric company. After that is the install, and then after the install, you have to schedule an inspection. Hopefully, it happens on the first time. Hopefully, it passes. And then after that, there's a couple weeks after you can turn the system on.
And at any one of those steps in the process, whoever's responsible for that on the back end, as far as internally with their company, the company that you're selling solar through, it can fall through the cracks, right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely,
Yeah. So
absolutely.
if it's just you, tell us a little bit more about how you got us. That's essentially what you're doing with your time is you're staying on top of it at every step of the way on the back end.
Exactly.
And how did that affect your mindset when you're having to deal with these problems? Maybe you're having to deal with people that aren't delivering a high standard for you, and sometimes they're B players, and they're just not doing what they're supposed to do. And here you are delivering at your best every day.
Yeah, I think what you end up doing, I think psychologically, is that when you can't deliver a great client experience, it's just you end up doing less volume because you can't deliver a good client experience for people. So I think just like subconsciously, you end up doing less volume than you actually can, because you don't have systems in place to kind of take your efforts away from take your efforts away from the pushing the paper around to get the installs done.
That makes sense. So now tell us about how working with the concierge problem is, or sorry, working with the concierge service has solved that problem for you.
Yeah, I think it's basically been night and day. Just problems that would have taken me 45 minutes out of my day, aside from some of the other stuff. Aside from the other stuff, um, it's literally takes me a minute now. So I'm able to actually leverage the solar assistant in order to be able to provide a better client experience, and then also be able to spend more time doing the stuff that's going to increase the revenue for my business, which is sales.
And what would you say, give us an estimate, like how much money were you making before you started with us and how much money are you making now? You don't have to give us specific dollar figures. I know that you're filthy rich, but we won't let everybody else know that.
Um, so I would say like an increase of about 75 to 100%, because again, it affects it affects present money, and it also affects future money as well. Because if you're able to provide a better client experience, people are just more bullish on solar in general, and they're more likely to refer someone because it's been a smooth process for them.
So you're telling me that working with us has been part of you doubling your income over the last 3 years.
Oh, absolutely,
Wow,
absolutely.
that's amazing. Well worth the peanuts you pay us to help you get there.
No, no increases. I'm
Got to
not
start
getting
raising that rate, Andres.
no tariff prices.
We'll
No
send you a
tariff.
bigger bill, man. So, beyond the financial standpoint, how has it improved your work-life balance?
Yeah, I think just being able to leverage my solar, in my solar business and across all of my other businesses, has really just been able to, one, provide me a better experience, in the sense that I have a macro view of the business, and I'm actually able to pull the levers that are going to increase revenue and not the things, the fires that come up. Um, so I think in solar and in all of the other businesses, allowing me to delegate has allowed me to kind of grow those businesses more than I would have if I was actually focused more on putting out fires in the business. That's something that the solar assistants are really good at, and I think that's allowed me to focus more on building revenue in the present and in the future.
I love that. Yeah. So not only making your life easier now and making more money now, but essentially improving your reputation and increasing
Absolutely,
your
absolutely,
odds of getting referrals.
absolutely.
I love that. And then lastly, what would you say to somebody who's thinking, yeah, this sounds great, but really got to get my volume up first before I start investing in an assistant.
Yeah, so I think it's, if you're gonna scale, if the plan is to scale your business, to scale any business, and I've implemented this in, not only in solar but my other businesses, you have to be able to delegate, and having someone that's going to be able to manage these things for you is going to allow you to scale. Is going to allow you to scale. So that's my 2 cents on that. Is any business that you have, if you're not able to leverage other people's time and or delegate, you will never be able to scale, and you'll only be able to scale based on the amount of time that you have available versus actually being able to have someone else take on these other things for you.
I love that. So you're leveraging other people's times. You're leveraging the time of our assistants, and that's essentially the reason why you've been able to make so much more money.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I love it. Well, we'll get that higher bill sent over to you so you can start paying us a bigger cut of what you've been making, bro. All good. No, thank you so much, Andres. We really love working with you, for these last 3 years, and we'll look forward to many more to come.
Awesome, 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 awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.